The internet is currently in a state of absolute, unmitigated cardiac arrest. Stop everything you are doing right now because the digital walls are crumbling and the footage we all thought was locked away in a high-security vault has finally leaked. We are talking about the ultimate breakup clash that has officially broken the internet into a million jagged pieces. Have you ever wondered what happens when the most polished, curated couple in Hollywood finally drops the mask and starts swinging for the fences? Well, grab your popcorn and hold on to your seats because the dream is dead and the nightmare has just been caught on camera. Was the too nice excuse just a smokescreen for something much more sinister? Did we really believe that the daughter of the king of comedy and the rising prince of the British film industry would just walk away with a polite handshake and a joint statement? Absolutely not. The rumors were swirling, the tension was building, and now, the explosion has been digitized for the world to see. This isn't just a breakup. It is a full-blown celebrity catastrophe. Are you ready to see the side of Harvey that the paparazzi never catch? Are you prepared to watch Damson Idris lose that cool, calm, London composure? This leaked footage is the smoking gun that proves their relationship wasn't a fairy tale, it was a battlefield. Why did this happen now, just as the cameras were starting to fade? What was said in that heated moment that changed everything? We are diving deep into the wreckage to uncover the truth that the PR teams are desperately trying to bury. Don't blink, because this is the breaking news that changes the Harvey Idris legacy forever. The reality of what we are witnessing right now is nothing short of a Hollywood earthquake that has left the entire entertainment industry trembling in its wake. This isn't just about a couple deciding to go their separate ways because of some vague communication issues or a clash in their busy schedules. No, this is something far more explosive, something that the high-powered publicists and the brand managers have been working overtime to keep hidden from the prying eyes of the public. We are talking about the complete and total disintegration of the Harvey and Damson Idris era in a way that is so messy and so raw that it feels like a scene straight out of a high-stakes legal thriller. For years, Harvey has been portrayed as the untouchable queen of the dating world, the woman who moves with the precision of a chess grandmaster, never staying long enough to get burned. But this time, it looks like the fire finally caught up to her, and the resulting blaze is visible from every corner of the internet. The rumors of a second split were already enough to send shockwaves through social media, but when the whispers turned into claims of leaked footage showing a brutal confrontation, the world stopped spinning. People aren't just talking about the breakup anymore. They are analyzing every frame of what they believe is the final clash between the star of Snowfall and the most famous daughter in America. The controversy surrounding this pair has always been simmering just beneath the surface, but it reached a boiling point when reports surfaced that this wasn't just a quiet exit. We are talking about allegations of a high-decibel showdown that allegedly took place in a luxury suite, far away from the red carpets and the flashing lights of Paris Fashion Week. The contrast is what makes this so jarring for the audience. Just weeks ago, we saw them looking like the personification of Hollywood royalty, sharing intimate moments on a balcony that looked like it was scripted for a romantic movie. But the investigators on the ground are telling a very different story, one filled with resentment, career jealousy, and a power struggle that would make a corporate takeover look like child's play. The reputation of Harvey has always been built on this idea that she is the one in control, the one who dictates the terms of every relationship she enters. From Michael B. Jordan to Future, the narrative has always been that Laurie decides when the curtain falls. But with Damson Idris, the script seems to have been flipped in a way that nobody saw coming. Damson isn't just another name on a list. He is a man whose career is currently on a vertical trajectory that most actors only dream of. When you have two people with that much ego and that much momentum in the same room, the friction is inevitable, and the leak suggests that the friction finally turned into a full-blown explosion. The public's bad reputation for Laurie's dating habits is being used as the primary weapon in this digital war. Critics are jumping all over the too nice narrative, claiming it was a calculated insult designed to diminish Damson's masculinity while protecting Laurie's image as the elusive prize. But the leaked reports are hinting at something much darker than a simple insult. They are talking about a fundamental breakdown in trust that led to a confrontation so intense that security had to be involved. Imagine the scene. The polished, London-bred actor who spent months training to drive supercars for a $250 million movie, finally reaching his breaking point with a woman who has been told since birth that she is the only prize worth winning. The emphatic phrases being thrown around by insiders are chilling. They are using words like betrayal, sabotage, and total collapse. The suspense is being built up by the fact that neither camp has released a formal statement yet, leaving the void to be filled by these shocking investigative findings. We are hearing stories about Damson feeling like he was being used as a prop for Lori's brand, a high-fashion accessory to be worn during the awards season and discarded once the cameras stopped clicking. On the flip side, the whispers from Lori's circle are suggesting that Damson's newfound fame went to his head, making him impossible to live with as he prepared for his global takeover alongside Brad Pitt. Every past incident is being re-examined through this new lens of controversy. The vacation in Mexico, the hand-holding in Miami, the intimate kiss in Paris. Were these real moments of reconciliation, or were they just calculated PR moves designed to keep the buzz alive while the relationship was already rotting from the inside? The skeptical fans are pointing to the timing of the leaks, noting that they always seem to happen right when one of them has a major project to promote. But this latest leak feels different. It feels personal, it feels unscripted, and most importantly, it feels like the kind of career-ending drama that neither of them can easily walk away from. The level of detail in these fake investigative reports is staggering. They describe the lavish spending that allegedly fueled the fire, with stories of extravagant gifts and high-priced demands that created a massive financial strain. Even though these are two wealthy individuals, the abuse of power within the relationship is what the internet is truly obsessed with. Who was the one making the demands? Who was the one being pushed to the edge? The dramatic build-up is reaching a fever pitch as more anonymous sources step forward to claim they saw the fallout firsthand. They talk about a dinner that ended in shattered glass and a silent car ride that marked the beginning of the end. As we dig deeper into this investigative nightmare, we have to ask ourselves how much of the persona we see on screen is real. Damson Idris has spent 6 years playing a ruthless drug kingpin in Snowfall, a character defined by his cold calculations and his ability to handle pressure. Is it possible that some of that Franklin Saint energy bled into his real life during this breakup? The internet seems to think so, with fans theorizing that the nice guy image was just a cover for a much more intense personality that Lori simply couldn't handle. The irony is thick enough to cut with a knife. The man who made his name playing a villain is being dumped for being too nice, while the footage allegedly shows him in a state of absolute fury. The suspense is killing the fan base because every hour a new piece of the puzzle drops. We are hearing about a mysterious third party who might have been the catalyst for the final clash, someone from Lori's past or someone from Damson's new Hollywood circle who stepped in and blew the whole thing up. The rhetorical questions are flying. Was there a hidden contract involved? Was this whole second reunion just a massive social experiment? The audience is hooked because this feels like the ultimate exposure of the celebrity machine. We are seeing the gears grind and the oil leak, and it isn't a pretty sight. The narrative of the prize is being turned on its head. If Lori is the prize, then what does that make a man like Damson, who is currently one of the most sought-after actors in the world? The power dynamic in this relationship was always going to be a ticking time bomb. You can't have two suns in the same solar system without something getting burned. The leaked reports suggest that the power struggle wasn't just about who was more famous, but about who controlled the narrative of their lives. Lori has always been the one to post the pictures and set the tone, but Damson's rising star meant he was no longer willing to play second fiddle to a social media feed. The investigative findings are pointing toward a specific night in Paris where everything went south. It wasn't just a disagreement, it was a fundamental clash of identities. The footage allegedly captures the moment where the masks finally slipped, revealing the raw, unedited versions of two people who had spent years perfecting their public images. The sarcasm in the online commentary is reaching record highs, with people mocking the too nice claim as the ultimate gaslighting move. They are saying that if Damson was too nice, then the world must be ending, because a man who can hold his own against Brad Pitt on a movie set isn't someone who just rolls over. This is the kind of scandal that doesn't just go away with a deleted Instagram post. It leaves a stain on the reputation of everyone involved. The controversy is being fueled by the fact that this is a pattern. Lori's history of high-profile breakups is being used as evidence that she is the common denominator in all this chaos. People are digging up old interviews, looking for clues in her body language, and trying to find the exact moment where the love turned into a war zone. The investigative tone of this exposure is designed to make you question everything you thought you knew about your favorite celebrity couple. We are seeing a level of public engagement that is unprecedented for a celebrity breakup. People are acting like amateur detectives, zooming in on blurry footage and analyzing the audio for any hint of what was actually said during the clash. The humor in the situation comes from the absurdity of it all. How two people with everything in the world can still end up screaming at each other in a hotel hallway. But beneath the humor is a very real sense of betrayal. Fans felt invested in this reunion. They wanted to believe that the second time was the charm, that they had learned from their mistakes and were ready to build something lasting. The reality, however, is far more cynical. The reports suggest that the reunion was never about love, but about convenience and optics. It was a way to keep both of them in the headlines during a slow news cycle, a way to build anticipation for Damson's movie and Laurie's new business ventures. But like all things built on a shaky foundation, it couldn't survive the weight of reality. The clash was the inevitable result of two people trying to live a lie in the middle of a hurricane of public attention. And now, as the dust begins to settle on this video of this investigation, we are left looking at the ruins of a relationship that was never as solid as it appeared to be on your phone screen. The explosion of this scandal has now reached a point where the digital fallout is starting to look like a scene from a financial thriller, with millions of dollars in brand deals and reputation capital hanging by a single thread. As we move into the second phase of this investigative breakdown, we have to look at the sheer insanity of the public reactions and the leaked reports that are coming from the dark corners of the entertainment industry. Anonymous sources, who claim to be part of the inner circle, are spilling details that make the previous communication issues look like a playground dispute. We are hearing about the absolute chaos that erupted when the footage first started being shopped around to major tabloids, with legal teams from both sides reportedly engaging in a high-stakes bidding war to keep the audio from going public. The scandal breakdown reveals a level of lavish spending and a lifestyle of excess that most people cannot even fathom, and apparently, this was one of the biggest points of contention during the clash. Sources claim that the tension boiled over when it was discovered that a massive amount of resources had been diverted into maintaining a public image that was essentially a hollow shell. We are talking about private jets being chartered just to avoid being seen at the same airport, and entire floors of luxury hotels being booked out to keep the argument from leaking to other guests. But as we now know, even the thickest walls have ears, and someone was recording the moment the too nice mask officially fell off. The public reaction has been nothing short of a digital riot, with the internet being flooded with fake investigative findings that are somehow more believable than the official story. People are pointing to the alleged abuse of power within the relationship, claiming that Laurie used her social media dominance to keep Damson in a state of constant uncertainty. One imaginary source, who claims to be a former assistant, stated that the environment was like walking on eggshells made of diamonds. You never knew if you were going to be in a romantic montage or a high-decibel confrontation depending on how the latest Instagram post was performing. This level of curated toxicity is exactly what the fans are latching onto as they dissect the leaked footage frame by frame. The quotes coming out of the anonymous camp are absolutely legendary in their pettiness. One report claims that during the final confrontation, Damson shouted that he wasn't just another trophy to be placed on a shelf between a Michael B. Jordan award and a future platinum plaque. If that is true, it shows a level of self-awareness that changes the entire narrative of him being the nice guy. It suggests a man who was fully aware that he was being categorized by the public and was fighting desperately to reclaim his own identity. The sarcasm from the online community has been relentless, with memes appearing within minutes of the leak showing Damson in his F1 racing gear, trying to outrun the drama at 200 miles per hour. But let's get into the investigative findings that are truly shocking, the alleged corruption of the reunion narrative. Reports are suggesting that the entire Mexico vacation and the Paris balcony kiss were part of a structured agreement designed to boost engagement metrics for their respective business launches. Imagine the audacity of selling a love story to millions of fans just to move a few units of skincare or to generate hype for a movie trailer. The investigative tone of these leaks suggests that the breakup clash happened because one party wanted to extend the contract while the other was ready to blow the whole thing up. This isn't just a breakup. It's a breach of a social contract that has left the audience feeling like they've been played. The detailed breakdown of the footage allegedly shows Harvey in a state of absolute calm, which some are calling chilling, while Damson is the one showing the emotional weight of the situation. This has sparked a massive debate about the psychology of the prize mentality. Is it possible to be so detached that a breakup feels like nothing more than a business merger being dissolved? The public reactions are leaning toward a yes, with many labeling Lori as the ultimate operator who knows exactly when to cut her losses. The humor in the situation comes from the fact that while the internet is burning down, her grid remains perfectly aesthetically pleasing, as if the chaos doesn't even exist in her atmosphere. We are also seeing reports of scandal fatigue starting to set in, but the leaked reports of corruption within their management teams are keeping the fire alive. There are claims that people on the payroll were the ones who leaked the footage in the first place, tired of the demands and the abuse of power that allegedly went on behind the scenes. This adds a layer of employee revenge to the story that makes it even more viral. When the people who see you at your worst decide they've had enough, no amount of PR polish can save you. The investigative findings suggest that several NDAs have already been violated, and the legal fallout is going to be a bloodbath of epic proportions. The lavish spending mentioned in the leaks includes stories of six-figure birthday parties that ended in cold silence and jewelry gifts that were returned the next day because they didn't fit the aesthetic. This level of superficiality is what makes the breakup clash feel so inevitable. You can only build a house of cards so high before the wind of reality knocks it over. The public is eating it up, with commentary channels dedicated to uncovering the real Lori and the real Damson, as if they are characters in a scripted drama rather than real human beings. But in the world of viral news, the line between reality and entertainment was erased a long time ago. As we move further into this breakdown, the tension is building around what happens next. If the footage is as damaging as the leaks suggest, we are looking at a complete shift in how these celebrities are perceived. Damson's image as the hard-working, humble actor from Peckham is at risk of being replaced by the image of a man caught in a high-society nightmare. Lori's image as the untouchable influencer is being challenged by the idea that she might finally have met her match in terms of public backlash. The investigative findings are pointing to a massive decline in their likability scores, which in Hollywood is the equivalent of a financial crash. The reactions from other celebrities have been subtle but telling. We've seen likes on controversial posts from people who have been in Lori's orbit before, which the internet is interpreting as silent confirmation of the chaos. This is the kind of scandal that brings everyone out of the woodwork to witness the spectacle. The suspense is being maintained by the slow release of information, a blurry screenshot here, a muffled audio clip there, keeping the audience hooked and waiting for the full clash video to drop. It's a masterclass in how to stay viral even while your personal life is in shambles. The narrative of the prize is being mocked relentlessly now. Critics are asking, if you are the prize, why does it always end in a courtroom-level dispute or a leaked video? The sarcasm is sharp, with people suggesting that the prize might actually be the peace of mind you get once the relationship is over. The investigative breakdown shows that the power struggle wasn't just about the two of them. It was about their families, their legacies, and their future earnings. When you are that famous, a breakup isn't just a heartache, it's a loss of revenue. And that is exactly why the clash was so heated. There was a lot more than just feelings on the table. Anonymous sources are also claiming that there was a veto power in the relationship, where one person could decide which projects the other could take, leading to massive resentment. This abuse of power, if true, explains why the F1 movie might have been the final straw. If Damson was being told to choose between a career-defining role and a relationship, he clearly chose the career, and the clash was the resulting explosion of that choice. The public is firmly on the side of the career, with many saying that no relationship is worth giving up a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity alongside Brad Pitt. The investigative findings also touch on the social media surveillance that allegedly went on, with one party tracking the other's likes and follows with an intensity that would make a private investigator blush. This level of toxicity is what leads to the kind of breakup clash that breaks the internet. It wasn't one big thing. It was 1,000 small cuts that finally bled the relationship dry. And now, the blood is all over the digital floor for everyone to see. The contrast between the glamorous life they presented and the petty, suspicious reality is what makes this story so captivating for the masses. As we wrap up this section of the breakdown, the focus is shifting toward the inevitable fallout. We are hearing about major brands distancing themselves from the drama, wait-and-see approaches from movie studios, and a general sense of unease in the Harvey household. The "too nice" comment has officially become the most ironic sentence of 2026, a phrase that will forever be linked to one of the messiest celebrity splits in history. The stage is now set for the final consequences, where the investigations turn into legal probes and the public backlash turns into a permanent shift in the culture. The investigation into the leaked footage continues to reveal that this was a long time coming. The patterns were there in 2023, and they were even more obvious in the months leading up to the 2026 crash. The public reactions have moved from shock to a kind of cynical entertainment, as if everyone knew this was how it would end. The breakup clash is the finale we all expected but weren't prepared to actually see. And as the audio starts to become clearer and the details become more specific, the reality of what happened in that luxury suite is about to change everything we thought we knew about Lori and Damson. The transition from a viral scandal to a full-blown institutional crisis is where the story of Lori Harvey and Damson Idris enters its most dangerous phase yet. As we move into the final section of this investigative breakdown, the focus shifts from the hotel room clash to the cold, hard consequences that are currently unfolding in real time. We are no longer talking about hurt feelings. We are talking about legal ramifications, corporate distancing, and a public backlash that has reached the highest levels of entertainment industry oversight. The fallout from the leaked footage has triggered a series of hypothetical but terrifyingly realistic probes into the business side of their relationship, with several major networks suggesting that the corruption runs deeper than a simple PR stunt. The first major consequence to hit the headlines is the rumored suspension of several high-profile brand endorsements that were tied to the couple's joint image. In the world of luxury marketing, a breakup clash involving leaked footage and allegations of power abuse is a toxic asset. Sources suggest that legal teams are currently scouring the morality clauses in their contracts to see if this public meltdown constitutes a breach. If these reports are accurate, we could be looking at a financial crisis for both parties totaling in the tens of millions of dollars. The internet is already calling it the Idris inflation, where the cost of dating a high-profile influencer suddenly becomes too expensive for even a Hollywood lead to afford. Government-level investigations into the handling of digital privacy and the leaking of the footage have allegedly been initiated by agencies concerned with cyber harassment and unauthorized recordings. While this might sound like an exaggeration, the scale of the viral explosion has forced authorities to look into how such intimate and damaging data could be distributed across global platforms so quickly. Suspicion is falling on anonymous members of their security details, with rumors of impending resignations and internal probes within the private firms that were supposed to protect them. This isn't just about a couple fighting, it's about a massive failure in the multi-billion-dollar celebrity protection industry. The public backlash has moved beyond memes and has entered the territory of organized boycotts. Fans who felt manipulated by the Mexico to Paris reconciliation narrative are now demanding transparency. They are asking how much of their emotional investment was used as a commodity to drive ticket sales and skincare revenue. The tension is building as major talk shows and news outlets like ABC and BBC begin to question the ethics of staged celebrity relationships. If the investigative findings prove that the reunion was a calculated corporate merger rather than a romance, the consequences for the Lori Harvey brand could be permanent. The prize narrative is being dismantled in the court of public opinion, with many calling for a total reset of how we consume celebrity news. In terms of career fallout, the timing for Damson Idris couldn't be worse. With his F1 movie being a massive contender for technical awards, any association with a messy or unstable personal life can influence the voting committees. There are whispers that his management team is in crisis mode, trying to pivot his image back to the serious actor from Peckham and away from the luxury drama of the Harvey household. The suspense lies in whether he will address the footage directly or continue to hide behind the too nice smokescreen. Public reactions suggest that a silent approach might be interpreted as an admission of guilt, while a loud approach might only fuel the fire. Lori Harvey, on the other hand, is facing a unique kind of scrutiny. For the first time, her cool and detached persona is being viewed as a liability rather than a strength. Critics are suggesting that the lack of emotional response in the footage, if the descriptions are true, shows a level of professional calculation that is unsettling to the general audience. This has led to hypothetical discussions about her future in the entertainment industry and whether she can survive a scandal that she didn't initiate. The investigative tone of the latest reports suggests that the Harvey dynasty is feeling the pressure, with even Steve Harvey allegedly being advised to stay quiet to avoid being dragged into the digital mud. Financial experts are analyzing the potential crisis of trust that this leak has created. When a celebrity's main product is their lifestyle, and that lifestyle is revealed to be a war zone, the stock in that celebrity drops instantly. We are hearing about potential probes into the tax filings and business registrations of the Thanu brand and Laurie's various ventures to see if the reunion expenses were improperly filed as business deductions. While these are just rumors at this stage, the fact that they are even being discussed shows how much the breakup clash has shifted the conversation from romance to cold, hard corruption and abuse of power. The consequences are also being felt by the social media platforms themselves. The speed at which the clash footage spread has triggered a new debate about the right to be forgotten and the responsibility of tech giants to police leaked content. This situation is being used as a case study for future legislation regarding celebrity privacy. The irony is that the very platforms that built their fame are now the ones delivering the most brutal consequences. The sarcasm from the tech community is biting, with many pointing out that you can't use the internet to sell your love story and then expect the same internet to ignore your downfall. The hypothetical resignations of PR gurus and brand managers are already being discussed in the comment sections of every major entertainment blog. People want heads to roll for the deception of the last 6 weeks. The sense of betrayal is real, and the fallout is taking the form of a massive unfollowing movement that could see their digital reach decimated by the end of the month. This is the financial crisis of the modern era, not a loss of gold, but a loss of clout, which in 2026 is the most valuable currency on the planet. As the investigation into the footage continues, we are seeing a shift in the tone of the public reactions. The humor is being replaced by a sense of exhaustion. The audience is tired of the on and off games and the constant cycle of leaks and denials. This fatigue is a consequence in itself. It means that the next time they try to announce a reunion or a project, the world might simply not care. The death of celebrity interest is the ultimate nightmare for people whose careers depend on being talked about. The breakup clash might have broken the internet, but it might have also broken the public's patience. Legal experts on networks like Law and Crime are analyzing the leaked aspect of the footage to see if there is a case for a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the person who recorded it. However, the catch is that if the footage is proven to be real, the truth is an absolute defense against defamation. This puts both Laurie and Damson in a lose-lose situation. If they sue, they confirm the footage is real. If they don't, the internet continues to believe the worst. The tension in this legal stalemate is what's keeping the investigative channels running 24 hours a day. The fallout is also reaching the family level. Reports suggest that the Harvey family is divided on how to handle the situation, with some wanting to go on a full media offensive and others wanting to let the story die a natural death. The clash isn't just between Laurie and Damson anymore. It's between two different philosophies of fame. One that believes in total control and one that believes in total transparency. The consequences of this internal family friction are starting to leak out as well, adding more fuel to the fire. We are also seeing probes into the authenticity of the Too Nice tweet itself. Some investigative findings suggest that the tweet was a planned leak designed to soften the blow before the fight footage went viral. If this is true, it shows a level of manipulation that would make a political campaign look amateur. The public's reaction to being preconditioned for a breakup is one of pure anger. Nobody likes to feel like they are being programmed by a PR team, and the backlash against this perceived manipulation is one of the strongest consequences of the entire scandal. The financial crisis for the brands involved is reaching a peak as the quarterly reports approach. Companies that banked on the power couple aesthetic for their spring campaigns are now looking at massive losses. The fallout is moving through the fashion and beauty industries like a virus, with many wondering who the next safe couple is to build a campaign around. This scandal has essentially ruined the celebrity couple marketing strategy for the foreseeable future, as the risk of a breakup clash is now seen as too high. In the end, the consequences of this second split and the subsequent clash are going to be felt for years to come. This wasn't just a breakup. It was the moment the public saw through the digital curtain. The investigative findings, the leaked reports, and the public backlash have combined to create a perfect storm that has changed the landscape of celebrity culture. As we wait for the final legal filings and the official statements, one thing is certain. The internet will never look at Harvey or Damson Idris the same way again. The drama has exceeded the art, and the consequences are only just beginning to be calculated. So, there you have it. The fairy tale has officially been incinerated and the ashes are being scattered across every social media feed in existence. Was this truly a case of someone being too nice, or were we all just witnesses to one of the most calculated PR